Hi, we're here today talking to Carrie-Ann, who's Director of Communications and Engagement and Charitable Funds at NELFT, and she's going to talk, just answer a few questions today about why International Women's Day is important to her. I think, first of all, why do you think it's important to celebrate International Women's Day?
I think it's really important to celebrate International Women's Day, partly to raise awareness of the issues that women still face in the workplace and in life in general, but also to celebrate all of the amazing achievements of women across the globe.
Lovely, thank you. And do you think, if you look back over your career, do you think you've faced any barriers just because you're a woman?
Yeah, lots of them. I don't know where to start, so I'll maybe just give a few examples. So I have on numerous occasions fielded questions, even at interview scenario, which makes me cringe, about whether or not I have intentions to start a family, go off and have children, which quite frankly wasn't anybody's business at the time.
Absolutely.
I have been referred to as the comms girl by my boss when I had achieved a very significant senior leadership role.
Wow.
Which was quite uncomfortable. So yeah, lots of little things that probably over time, and when you reflect, you think
when you add them up,
when you add them up, it's quite big, and you think I'm not sure men would be spoken to or about like that.
Yeah. I thought, with that in mind, then, do you think what can you think of? What's the most important piece of advice you've been given over the years that's helped you cope with that?
I guess for me, in terms of important advice, it's probably not about coping with that, but just more in general, which is around be courageous, like be brave, say yes to opportunities, and don't kind of shy away from things that maybe push you outside of your comfort zone. And I guess some of the things that might push us outside of our comfort zone are addressing some of those challenges that we faced. And I would also say a really good piece of advice for me is around not people pleasing, which is really hard for me because I am a people pleaser by nature, but putting myself first and the things that are important to me in my career first, which I probably didn't do at the start of my career, but as I've grown in confidence, I've been able to do that, and it has made for a much happier working life.
Yeah, I think what you said is right about, if you're a more junior member of a team, it's really difficult to have that confidence and that bravery to go forward and challenge people when you get those kind of comments, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think, what's the most important advice you could give to a younger team member?
So I think in terms of younger females early on in their career, there's definitely something for me around acting with integrity, making sure you stay true to things that feel important to you, and believing and having confidence in your expertise and professionalism feels really important. Then if you are choosing to challenge maybe one of those difficult conversations or something that's happening, if you're doing it from a place of true integrity, then although it might feel difficult, I think afterwards you will feel like you've done the right thing for sure. So that feels really important to me. And I guess there's also something for me about starting to really think about your values and what matters to you, and whether or not the team or the service that you're operating in, or even the wider organisation, is well aligned to those values. Because I think if you are working somewhere where your values match the people that you work with, that helps to create that culture of psychological safety, where it might then feel easier to challenge some of the more difficult things that come up.
Brilliant, yeah, really good advice there, thank you. Is there anyone that inspires you in your career? I mean, you've got to a certain level now. Is there anyone that inspires you?
Oh, I've met so many inspirational women along the way in my career, and obviously I'm very lucky to work with so many of them in NELFT, so yourself included, Mandy. And what I love about you, Mandy, is that you're always, nothing's too much for you. It's always like, I'll face that challenge head on, find a way to solve it, which I really love. And obviously it's brilliant that we've got Jackie as our Chief Executive. I think she's really inspirational. She definitely lives our values, particularly around acting with compassion. I think she really role models that. But in terms of other people, I am lucky enough to work with a fabulous lady called Lee Griffith. I collaborate with her on stuff outside of my day job, and she always inspires me to think differently about how I lead and how leaders could lead into the future, which is brilliant. And some fabulous other collaborators, Jane Galloway and Lorna Reeves, who are there to cheerlead for me, but also constructively challenge me in equal measure, which I think is really important.
I think we all need a cheerleader. All need a cheerleader. So is there anything you can sort of pinpoint what you're most proud of? whether that's career or outside of work or anything else, what are you most proud of?
I'm definitely most proud of achieving a directorship at 33. That felt like a big deal for me, particularly because I didn't see that many leaders like me in the NHS in terms of maybe age and background, but probably more importantly kind of style of leadership. So I think I've been used to in my career lots of very alpha male and alpha female style of leadership to be role modelled, and I hope that's not how I lead, so that felt like a big achievement. And I'm also really proud that at that point about putting what makes you happy first and brings you joy, not people pleasing. I'm also really proud that I do things outside of my NHS role here, and I'm very lucky to have the flexibility to do that. But I co-host a podcast about leadership, and I run an organisation that mentors other comms professionals, and all of those things bring me lots of joy. So I feel really proud that I'm able to do lots of different things in my career that kind of make me happy and play to my strengths.
Excellent. So I'm going to take you back a little bit now. So when you was a little girl, did you think you'd be working in comms?
No, I didn't.
What did you want to be?
I wanted to be loads of things depending what day of the week it was, but things that I remember, it's definitely a spell where I wanted to be a travel photographer. I really fancied that. Maybe a journalist, maybe an English teacher, but I guess the thing I remember most is when I was at school, we had to do these questionnaires that would tell you what career was most suited to you based on kind of
those.
and my top number one option was funeral director.
Okay.
So I hope that's maybe because I'm compassionate and empathetic. Who knows?
It must have come through on the scores.
Yeah, it must have. Number 2 was marketing, so I've not gone far wrong, have I, with that one? But maybe there's still another career left in me.
Maybe. Yeah. Just to finish off, I think is sort of the last question for us is if you could have dinner with an inspirational woman.
Do I have to just pick one?
You can have more than one. You can have more than one if you want. Who would it be and why?
There are absolutely loads that I would pick. I would love to invite Michelle Obama to dinner. I think she's
on my list.
Yeah, she's hugely inspirational, and I think her style, in terms of now, like the career she's got now, she's kind of very coaching in her style and helping people to step into their space and own it, which is brilliant.